What is your main goal for the interviewee?
Yeah, so our main goal is to provide closure as much as possible. Now, the thing is, we're not the FBI or the police, so we can't promise anything as far as meeting this person that's behind this fake profile or image. Those are things that the FBI sometimes can't even do. We will definitely try to give you some answers and, like I said, try to provide some closure.
All right, that sounds good.
Romance scams are a growing problem. According to the FTC, the amount of money lost in the USA was almost tripled since 2019, from $200 million to $547 million. It appears that scammers are just getting better at their schemes. Access to free platforms allows them to create an almost infinite amount of fake accounts and reach hundreds of thousands of potential victims. We've seen it all, and we've learned that above everything, scammers have one rule: the scam must go on. Romance scammers have plenty of tricks up their sleeves to continue to dupe victims, sometimes even after they've been found out. In today's episode, we visit Kentucky to interview a woman named Lisa, who will open up about several scammers revealing their true identities.
My name is Lisa. I just turned 61. I have been divorced over 5 years after a 30-year marriage. I have 3 grown children, and they're all doing very well, and I'm very, very proud of them. I have been sick a lot since the divorce and in bed, and I am a very much of a people person, and I really enjoy working with youth. I spend way too much time on social media, which I am working on getting off of it. I was contacted by a man named Chris. He said he was in the military. He was from North Carolina. He had a little girl, and she was his life, and that his wife had not cheated on him, but left him because of the military, because he kept going on deployment. He started talking to me, popping up more often, and it took a little bit longer, but pretty soon I realized, yeah, I'm already involved in him. Not too long after we met, he told me he got called in for deployment, and he was going to leave his little girl with his mom. And I told him, I said, if you go on deployment, I will never meet you, because everybody that tells me they're going on deployment, I never, ever meet them. But he taught me into believing that it was a short assignment and he would be back pretty quick, just to give him a little bit more time, which meant give me a little bit more time to get under your skin. And by the time I tell you I'm not really going to get to come back like I thought I could, you'll be emotionally involved with me and we'll be in a relationship by then. I'm sure I sent him some gift cards so he can have connections. I sent a care package to Chris, a military care package to Chris. But I guess I just played into it. And he told me he went on deployment, and then time rolled around and rolled around. It was Christmas. He told me that he was going to get to come home. And it was already way after he told me originally he could get to come home. And I was so excited. I was so happy. He, of course, did not come home.
The scam Chris put Lisa through was a typical military romance scam. This is one of the most common scams women go through. The scammer tells the victim that they're getting deployed and they have to go on some top secret mission. This usually leads to problems they need money for, like connection or phone issues, money for food, money for leave. I lost my gun and I need money to replace it. It literally never ends until this person has sucked you dry. Lisa had sent thousands of dollars to this man who claimed his name was Chris. She was ready to break it off with Chris and even threatened to block him. But something very surprising happened.
When Chris first revealed himself to me, it's after I had posted or approached him with several questions that he knew were not, his answers were not connecting. He knew he was getting to a point where he was going to have to admit to me that he wasn't really who he said he was, and he wasn't in the predicament that he was told me he had been in. He found out that somebody was looking for him, and that helped him also come clean. But he told me, I need to come clean to you.
So this is when this story gets a little confusing. While Lisa was talking to Chris, She was also contacted by a man named Bent. Bent reached out to Lisa and told her that Chris might be a scammer. The two agreed on a $2,000 bet. If Chris was real and he was who he claimed to be, Bent would have to pay Lisa $2,000. If Chris was a scammer and he wasn't the man in the photos, Lisa would have to pay Bent $2,000.
And he was ashamed of who he was. He knew what he did was horrible. He told me he was very upset about it and that he was sorry that he did it and that he didn't think I would ever speak to him again. And I told him, Chris, I believe in second chances and I believe in forgiveness. I want to know who you really are. And he came clean and he showed me pictures and he started video chatting me immediately. He's a Nigerian. He's young. He's in Nigeria. I felt like he was my son. I felt like he was the son I lost a long time ago. I don't know how to tell you. I don't know how to explain it to you. I loved him like a son. I couldn't save my child. And I know this makes me look so weak, but I thought, if I can save this young man, I know I will feel better about not being able to save my child.
After meeting Chris, Lisa was contacted by a bunch of other romance scammers who ended up coming clean. All of these men attempted to steal money from Lisa by using other people's images, but they all ended up revealing their true identities.
I believe the reason why these young men come out and show me who they really are is because they trust me on a level that they know that I'm going to forgive them. Most of them I haven't given a penny to. Chris is the one of many I did. But most of them, I never give them anything. Most of them don't even always ask me for anything. They just want somebody to talk to. And that's what my career is, to work with youth. And I'm used to working with youth. I know how to talk to them. I get along with young people better than I do people my own age. The last one that came clean with me, I had to say, look, here's the picture of who you say you are. And this is the man's name. So who are you really? And 2 days later, he popped up and he told me. He said, I didn't think you'd ever speak to me again. Maybe between 5 and 8 people have come out and shown me their true identity after being in a relationship that was false for months to between 3 years and just a few months. It's like they call me mom, and I love them like my own kids.
We interview hundreds of men and women every year about their romance scam stories. When scammers reveal themselves and show their real identity, this is typically another phase of the scam. Remember, the scam never ends.
I would like to say this too. All the pictures that Chris ever sent me were on Instagram. Every one of them. This young man that was really in the pictures, he's married, he has a family, totally innocent. But he has thousands of pictures on Instagram. I just think that's kind of crazy. Because that's an invitation almost. You know what I'm saying? Putting all these pictures out there, anybody can take them. Because he has a picture that covers so many different stories. It's easy to use them.
People in Lagos, Nigeria do have it rough. Some of the children are taught to scam at very young ages. Lagos is ranked the second worst place to live in the world. Kidnapping remains a significant risk. And also, the city lacks a significant healthcare system. Lagos has over 2 million out-of-school kids, and the number only rises. Lisa and her love for kids helped her see that this was all a problem, and she forgave all the young men in Nigeria for what they had done.
The thing is, the more I get to know about the circumstances of the people in this world that cannot eat every day, it breaks my heart more and more. People in America, so many of them, they don't ever think about how these people live. I would bring them over here to America and make them get, let them get jobs and provide a place for them to live if I could, in a heartbeat, all 4 of these kids. One's a university student. One already graduated from the university but can't get a job. One is a young man I've been talking to for at least 3 years. And he hasn't gotten the opportunity to go to university. He graduated from high school, and the other one is Chris, the one that came out. But I think some of these children are literally put in warehouses, slapped on the floor, and made to do this to people. I really do. I don't know if I've ever talked to any, but I've seen pictures of stuff like this. And some of these kids tell me things like that are going on there. I don't care if he's Nigerian. I don't care if he's the Prince of Egypt. He's a good person.
Lisa and all of the young men she met in Nigeria began to talk almost every day. She would check on them and even sometimes send them money for food and clothes. She got every scammer to come clean, but there was one profile she couldn't get off her mind.
I met Ben on Facebook, not the dating site on Facebook, just general Facebook. But that's when I met Ben. August the 31st was our first real conversation. He told me that he had been in a scam himself and that he wanted to make sure that I wasn't falling for a scam as well. That's how we started getting involved, because we had that in common. He could possibly be the age that he claimed to be, which was 47. He has 2 daughters. They're 10 and 14 approximately. He's nice looking. He's not the best looking guy I've ever gone out with, but I wasn't trying to. He's nice looking. That sounded bad. He's nice looking. The man in the picture is nice looking, but that's not what I was after. I looked over his site. He had a lot of people talking to him on his postings. And I thought every one of them were centered around the same topic. And I liked it. They were positive. They were basically what I believed too. And that we had that in common as well. Well, he always had several people respond back to whatever he said. And it was mostly women. Might have been all women. I didn't pay that much attention. He has never FaceTimed me. He always had a reason. And that's the main reason that I'm still really confused, because I just don't know any excuse is good enough since all these months that he just cannot possibly figure out a way to FaceTime me if he really wanted to. He never said, you need to send me $2,000. I'm in trouble. Nothing like that. Nothing. It was so different from anything I've ever experienced. He has been so nice and so sweet to me and so patient. The first time he asked me for money was after he won the bet that Chris was not going to come home. And he didn't come home when he said he was. And so I owed Ben $2,000. So $8,000 plus the bet money, $2,000, that's $10,000. Then $20,000 I invested in his company, and that's equal to $30,000. 5 days ago, I wrote him a message that said, I'm missing you, or something like that. As I said, I couldn't get a hold of y'all on the phone. I was thinking, well, maybe he really is who he says he is, and I just blocked him. And that's the worst thing I'd ever done, because if he was real, oh my gosh, I'd be so freaking happy. We both hurt each other, and we just need to either decide what we're going to do. We need to be honest with each other, totally be honest with everything, or just forget each other. He has an accent. I mean, I would recognize his voice if I heard it, I think, for the rest of my life, because it's just part of him. Chris told me that he was an African man. So maybe, I don't know. I don't know who he is. That's why I really want to know who that man is in the picture. Like a week ago, I really am just ready to. I've never been so confused. I mean, it all looks like it's a big scam, but there's just enough to keep me hanging on to drive me nuts until we get to the bottom of it. I'm not going to send him any more money, but it's not about money right now with me. It's not. To be real honest, I think we'd have to go to a counselor and get counseling, because we've been through too much to start a relationship in person after we have been through so much. He has hurt me so bad, and I have hurt him so bad that we would need counseling. But it'd be worth it if we could get back to where we were. As soon as you can tell me the man in the picture is not the man you are talking, if you'll just call me as soon as you find out, it would help. I'm sitting on pins and needles right now, because I want to believe he is who he is, but my brain tells me he is a scammer. My heart tells me he really does. We do have something to go for each other. And I'm so torn.
Tune in to the next episode of Scamfish. We'll sit down with Lisa.
Where are you from, by the way?
Dallas.
Okay, I hear the accent a little bit coming out.
Where are you from, David?
We're over in California.
Yeah, your attitude, a Californian.
Oh,
yeah, there it is.
This credit card right here, Chris said, Mom, he calls me Mom now. They all do. He said, Mom, I'm going to have them put that money that I made on Bitcoin on that credit card. And you're going to get your money back that I took from you.
Our team will investigate all of the information that Lisa sent over to us.
How do you feel about the information that we've been able to provide to you?
We will uncover answers about this mysterious man Bent. Once this video gets 1,000 comments, we will be releasing part 2. So please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you guys next time.
Scams come in so many different forms. If you have been a victim of any of the scams below, please email us at sharemystory@socialcatfish.com. We'll get to the bottom of it with help from our Social Catfish team. By sharing your story with our YouTube audience, we can educate, spread awareness, and maybe someday we can put an end to these scams.